So I love walking my dog every evening. But there is where I do my best thinking because I'm relaxed, my head is clear, and I can think about new approaches, new ideas, ideas for my clients, ideas for myself. But that's because I shifted. I
Mm.
put my lifestyle first and then molded my business to suit that. And I ended up with a bigger business.
Prio Ich&DU, der Umsetzungspodcast, and we switch in English language because it's an English episode today. And I have the honor and I appreciate very much your time, Dan, that you be my interview guest today. And before we jump in your story, I I heard from you a question when we met us on Switzerland the days, and maybe we can jump with that, or we can start with that. Does your business model align with the lifestyle you want for yourself and your family? Amazing question. Amazing question.
Yeah.
So, Dan, nice to see you here. Thank you for your time in advance. So, what is the sense behind this question?
Okay. Well, it's a good job you're talking in English, Sebastian, because I have no idea what you're talking about other than that. But yes, I'm very passionate about that question. You know, does your business model suit the lifestyle that you want for you and your family? Okay. Now, why am I passionate about that? Because I have been self-employed for over 40 years. I do not remember our son growing up. We have two children, a daughter and a son. The daughter is now 39 years of age. The son is 35, going on 36. And I do not remember him growing up because we were so busy. And I was putting the business first and hoping that the lifestyle would follow on, which it never does. Because the the situation most business people fall into is that when they go self-employed, you're only as good as your last contract. So you're trying to chase all the time. And we tend to bring the business first, which is wrong. We got to get the lifestyle first. And people that are going to be listening to this podcast will probably say, it's okay for him. Trust me. If Sebastian, if you asked me to write a book on everything I got right over those 40 years, it would probably be that size, maybe 90 pages. But if you asked me to write a book about everything I got wrong, it would be volumes, volumes. And that was the one key thing that I got wrong over many years until I started learning the incentive material and it started making sense. I should be talking about this the other way around. I should get my preferred lifestyle that suits my family and I and mold the business around that. And it makes so much sense. And the other thing I found, if you do it that way, you do more business. Why? Because your mind is clear. If you are, which one of my real passions is where we live in Southern Ireland, we're surrounded by beaches off the Atlantic coast. So I love walking my dog every evening. But there is where I do my best thinking because I'm relaxed, my head is clear, and I can think about new approaches, new ideas, ideas for my clients, ideas for myself. But that's because I shifted. I
Mm.
put my lifestyle first and then molded my business to suit that. And I ended up with a bigger business. I was working 80 hours per week for maybe 30 of those 40 years. Until, as I say, I learned, I will have to credit the incentive material. I learned the material, so I started doing that, using that material for my clients. But then I became my own best client. I started learning that material for me, and it started falling into place.
Wow. So all you guys in the audience, I only can recommend it through back, so and hear it again and again and again, because what it reminded me on your question when we were in this corner and sitting there, I also reflect myself, and I say also to my clients and also into my surrounding, to my friends and so on, when they speak about work-life balance, and I say to them, it's a lie, because work-life balance. And I interpret it a little bit otherwise. I say you have to create for yourself a life work system, more or less. And I think it is what you explained very well. And yeah, that is what I heard also from good or very wisdom or wise entrepreneurs when they ask him, hey, what you would do otherwise when you started now with 25 or 30 years again. And the most say, okay, I would spend more time with my children. I don't saw them growing up in the teenager ages or whatever. And this is why I also said, okay, yes, you can also work 16 hours a day and so on and so on. You will have a result, but what it costs at the moment, it's about, it costs also, or it will have the result that you get a distance, a social distance also to your family, right? And I don't want to, this is what I started from the beginning on. I don't want to that my son say to me, uncle, yeah, when I come home
Yeah.
in the first case.
Yes.
And in the
Yeah.
second one, it's also, hey, when they then 18 or whatever, then I have also enough time to go back and do it faster when they say, okay, Dad, you are too old to run with me around the playground or whatever, or themselves. And that's very cool. So you said South Ireland. You
South Ireland,
shared a
yes.
little bit that we can imagine. What does then do nearby outside walk around along the beach? So what is your business, core business? You are a consultant, I know. What do you love in the consulting way? And maybe you can also share some private aspects of you.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I am a musician, and I have been a musician for 50 years. Um, you heard me speaking there about working 80 hours a week. How that 80 hours per week accumulated is I would work maybe 40 hours on my day job, my business, but then you'd finish on a Friday afternoon and you'd get home, quick shower, and then out the door, and you'd play for weddings or functions Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, and back to work again on Monday. So it's easy to do 80 hours. But that's how I accumulated that because I was a musician. What I love doing is I love walking the dog. I like my own private space. I'm I'm good company to myself because funnily enough, Sebastian, I agree with myself all the time, which is great because nobody else disagrees with me. So uh, that's very important. And I love, I have a real passion for my work now because I see us in incentive as working in parallel with our clients and helping them grow But the fact that I have so much experience on doing it wrong or right, I still have a lot of experience. So I'm gifting my client the gift of hindsight. If we all had hindsight. But I have the hindsight. I know where I went wrong. I know what doesn't work. I know that it's not really work-life balance, it's work-life blend. I'm stealing that from Simon Sinek because I heard him on a podcast one day. He's talking about work-life blend because the balance, it means you need to be equal life. But it's not, it's the way it blends in, the way you've molded, as I was explaining, you've molded your business into your lifestyle. So it's a blend. So I love doing that. And I love seeing businesses grow. And my big fix every week is if a client says to me, I never thought of that. They get this aha moment. I never thought of that, right? That's good. A bit about myself. If you can imagine a picture of Europe and you look over to the extreme left of Europe and you see Ireland, well, we're on the extreme left of Ireland. And I was born on a little island of the southwest coast of Ireland, which is the southwest coast of Europe. So if I kept going west, I would end up in Manhattan, New York. So where I was born, Sebastian, is on an island, and it's officially the closest European point to the United States. Very, very remote. My brother and I were reared on a farm with our parents. So my parents were farmers producing beef and milk. Great upbringing, really good. Very honest people, great people, very helpful community, which gave me two attributes. One is the community always helped each other because it was an island. It was cut off from the mainland. So it was an island. So there was a real helping community. The attitude was helping. But on the other side, we could never sell to anybody because we never did it. So I have found over the years, I can sell my programs and incentive programs. I'm not capable of selling. But then I realized, no, it's not about selling. It's about building relationships and bringing solutions to problems. So my upbringing, it all seemed to come together, Sebastian, after I started learning the incentive material and why I do what I do. It's all back to being raised on an island on the southwest coast of Europe. So yeah, it's a bit about me.
Wow. Well, in the next episode, we will jump a little bit more into detail because I think there's so much story behind the Dan, additional what he said already. And when we take shortly, so maybe in the last minutes of the first episode, in this, when you take a look outside at the moment, maybe I don't know if you take a look to some breaking news or reading some magazine or whatever, and you said, okay, what people need is a relationship. So what do you see what do you see at the moment is in the outside, and when we see, okay, why you don't start with yourself? So in this case, and which demand or which need you see in the society, maybe not only in South Ireland, maybe also in the global world. What are your perspective to that?
People skills. People skills. I remember it's not too long ago, I got a call from a person that was running, they were doing all the marketing for 32 hotels. Big. big company. And they came to me and they said, then we've a real problem with our sales and marketing people in all these 32 hotels. And I was talking it through anyway. And they came to the conclusion that the Gen Z generation, that if it didn't happen, if they didn't make a sale through email, they didn't make a sale at all. You know, the personality skills or the you know, people's ability to talk to each other wasn't there. Now, having said that, the generation coming through, the Gen Zs, they are brilliant. They are really, really smart. But the biggest contracts, sales contracts, that only happens when two or more people make a connection. You can send all the emails and do all the social media and everything you like. You know, it doesn't happen much if you're selling pens online. No big deal. If it doesn't work, it's not a big deal. But if there's a big contract, that will only happen when as I say, when two or more people make a connection. That's missing. And the ability to communicate with each other is missing. But the plus side is that I see my daughter, my son, and younger, their friends, very smart people. I love them. I love working with them. They're so creative, but it's the people skills they don't have. And that can be easily fixed. You know, just better communication, getting used to actually talking to people. Because no matter what happens with AI and with everything that's coming through, that contract is not going to be signed until two people make an actual connection. Say, right, okay, Sebastian, yes, I'd like to work with Sebastian. And you mightn't even be the cheapest. You know, you could be more expensive than anyone else. But if I resonate with you, I'm going to deal with you. That will always be there. Always.
It's an official invitation now. I really love to walk 30, 40 kilometers in the nature, and it's for free. Because we meet us one time per quarter or sometimes or more often. Exactly do this, spending time to each other. I do it for my health at first, then breath in, breath out, and over this distance, over 30, 40 kilometers. And we start with one question and answer the same question after 10, after 20, after 30, after 40 kilometers. You have different answers, definitely. So at the first is so more or less interactive. Woo, 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 let us do the job. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And the middle one, maybe everybody reminds when you were a child or whatever, when you drive in vacation. Oh, when we are finally there. That is exactly what happened also in such walks. And at the end, oh, come on, my knees or whatever. You have some pain maybe, and then you answer the question differently. And that is what I also say. Okay, jump in the shoes of your opposite. Walk with them in the mind 8, better 10 weeks, and then you have a minimum idea what is behind the person, right? So sometimes so. Wow, great first episode. Last sentence for this one from you, Dan, and then we jump in the next one. And audience, please take an apple, make the plus, and connect with Dan. Especially your first entry is Instagram, of course. No,
Instagram, yeah. LinkedIn would be great. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. And you know, the one thing I would say to finish, speaking of the likes of LinkedIn, sometimes we invite people to have a chat, but they think we're trying to sell them something, and well, actually, we're not. We're not. We're just saying, okay, have you a challenge? I may have a solution, but we don't know until we have that conversation. So it's never about selling something. And we tend to go, oh, why is Sebastian ringing me now? Why is he contacting me? He must be trying to sell me something. No, he's not. I'm just saying, can we solve a problem here? With my solution, can I solve your problem? Don't be afraid to connect.